Okay, welcome, and appreciate you coming. We have two announcements today, and the first concerns a special session, and the second concerns an appointment. The General Assembly has made progress on a few items this year, such as a Certificate of Need repeal, restructuring the Department of Health and Environmental Control, school choice, passing the SHIELD law, and improving an incentive package for Scott Motors, bringing jobs and prosperity to the state. Excuse me, but they have not finished their business. The General Assembly did not close the revolving door for known criminals. That door remains open. They have not passed bond reform. They have not enhanced the criminal penalties for illegal gun possession by known criminals. That must be done. In addition, the General Assembly must complete the state budget, and they must pass legislation that stops our state from becoming a destination for abortions. Therefore, I'm issuing the following executive order directing the General Assembly to return for a special session to complete the important business at hand. It reads as follows: Executive Order number 2023-13. Whereas on May 11th, 2023, the regular session of the General Assembly of the State of South Carolina adjourned sine die in accordance with Section 2-1-180 of the South Carolina Code of Laws as amended. And whereas the General Assembly passed legislation to address various important matters before adjourning sine die, and such legislation has been presented to the undersigned or will be presented to the undersigned upon ratification for review and consideration as to whether to approve said legislation or return the same for objections. And whereas, notwithstanding the foregoing, although the General Assembly has reached agreement on numerous budget-related matters and appointed a conference committee on House Bill 4300, which is the General Appropriations Bill, the General Assembly did not adopt, enroll, or ratify a General Appropriations Act for the 2023-2024 fiscal year, or pass a continuing resolution to otherwise provide for the continued operation of state government after the end of the current fiscal year in advance of the sine die adjournment. And whereas, because money drawn, quote, money drawn shall be drawn from the treasury of the state or the treasury of any political subdivisions only in pursuance of appropriations made by law, end of quote, South Carolina Code, Article 10, Section 8. The absence of General Appropriations Act for the upcoming fiscal year is a matter that requires the immediate attention of and action by the General Assembly prior to its next regular session. And whereas, while the General Assembly also made commendable progress on advancing some critical measures, legislation to enhance penalties for illegal gun possession, Senate Bill 474, which is the Fetal Heartbeat and Protection from Abortion Act, House Bill 3532, which is bond reform, and other matters of significant public importance remain unresolved and did not achieve consensus prior to the sine die adjournment. And whereas the undersigned has determined that it is necessary and appropriate for the General Assembly to convene in advance of its next regular session for purposes of promptly adopting a General Appropriations Act, passing the above referenced pending legislation, and presenting the same for the undersigned's consideration. And whereas Article 4, Section 19 of the South Carolina Constitution provides that, quote, the governor may on extraordinary occasions convene the General Assembly in extra session, end quote, and further provides that, quote, should either house remain without a quorum for 5 days or in case of disagreement between the two houses during any session with respect to the time of adjournment, he may adjourn them to such time as he shall think proper, not beyond the time of the annual session then next ensuing, end of quote. And whereas, pursuant to Article 4, Section 19 of the South Carolina Constitution, and in accordance with the authority and discretion conferred therein, the undersigned has determined that the foregoing and other circumstances constitute an extraordinary occasion, such that it is necessary and appropriate to convene the General Assembly in extra session at the earliest practicable opportunity. And whereas the undersigned has concluded that Tuesday, May 16th, 2023, is the earliest practicable opportunity to convene the General Assembly in extra session, and the undersigned does not anticipate that timely consideration and resolution of the aforementioned matters will require the General Assembly to remain in extra session beyond May 31st, 2023. Now, therefore, by the virtue vested in me as Governor of the State of South Carolina and pursuant to the Constitution and laws of this state and the powers conferred upon me therein, I hereby call an extra session of the General Assembly of the State of South Carolina to convene at the State House in Columbia, commencing at noon Tuesday, May 16th, 2023. This order is effective immediately and shall remain in effect unless and until modified, amended, or rescinded by subsequent order. Given my hand and seal this great seal of the State of South Carolina this day, the 11th of May, 2023, signed by your Governor, Henry McMaster. And now for our second announcement. Today I'm appointing Mr. Brian J. Gaines of Columbia as the Comptroller General for the State of South Carolina. Mr. Gaines will serve until the General Assembly elects someone to complete the remaining term of office, which is over 3 years. Mr. Gaines currently serves as Director of the Executive Budget Office within the Department of Administration. He has served in numerous financial leadership roles within state government for over 16 years, from the Department of Employment and Workforce, the old Budget and Control Board, and now the Department of Administration. He currently serves as a member of Director Marcia Adams' senior leadership team at the agency. Mr. Gaines is highly respected by everyone, by the leadership of the General Assembly, by the state agency directors, and by me. Mr. Gaines leads a team of over a dozen finance and budget analysts in the executive office. They are responsible for the development and oversight of the state budget, starting with the governor's executive budget. They are responsible for assisting the General Assembly with balancing and reconciling the annual State Budget Conference Committee report. Additionally, that office oversees the annual financial accountability report process of each state agency and provides oversight for the state's permanent improvement project processes. Mr. Gaines is a graduate of the University of South Carolina, holding a Bachelor of Arts degree in political science and also a master's degree in public administration. And he has earned numerous professional certifications and accolades. His parents are with us today. His parents, Mr. Oscar Gaines and Peggy Washington. I know Ms. Mother is here. And we welcome them, and also Chief Justice Beatty has joined us here today to administer the oath of office to Mr. Gaines. And if the family will please come forward.
Left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I am duly qualified,
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties
to exercise the duties
of the office
of the office
to which I've been appointed,
to which I've been appointed,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge those duties
discharge those duties
and will preserve,
and preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
the
Constitution of the United States
Constitution of the United States
and this state.
and this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, sir.
Y'all want to ask Mr. Gaines, General Gaines some questions?
Mr. Gaines, this job, lawmakers are trying to make it an appointed position. If they're unsuccessful in making that case, or voters don't vote to do that, will you view yourself as a candidate for this office in 2026?
No.
Will you be campaigning around state to
No.
So speak to how you see your role in the next however long you have.
I see my role as carrying out the duties of the Office of the Comptroller General, and those duties will be carried out for as long as I'm in this role, and such time as the General Assembly decides to elect someone else.
Considering your important job as budget director, who will have that job? Surely you won't have both duties.
Oh,
We are very lucky at the Department of Administration to have a well-trained senior executive level staff. And until Mr. Gaines returns to admin, when the General Assembly selects a new comptroller, Mike Shealy will be filling in that role for us.
You should speak to what I'm thinking is the historic nature of your appointment.
well, considering this has all come about within the last day or so, I've not had much time for a lot of reflection on that particular point, but I'm sure as time goes on, I will have an opportunity to fully digest what this means for not only me, but for the state of South Carolina. But in any regard, I think the fact that I am standing here today is a momentous occasion and a great thing for not only our state, but also for myself.
What kind of changes do you expect to make in the comptroller's office while you're in charge?
That remains to be seen. I think my first priorities are to make sure I understand what's going on. I do have a general understanding of what goes on in the Comptroller General's office from my current position in state government, but first priorities are going to be figuring out what's going on and what needs to be moving forward after that point.
What do you plan to do as Comptroller General to ensure that a multi-billion-dollar mistake does not get made under your review?
I think it's working with the staff and making sure that the ACFR in which you're referring to is developed in the manner in which it complies with all of the things it needs to comply with and is done as best and accurately as we possibly can.
Governor, could you speak to why you chose him as comptroller?
He's qualified, he's respected by everyone, he has enormous experience. He's not a political person, and everyone that we discuss this with has great respect and confidence in Mr. Gaines.
Governor, House members have said that they wanted Kirkland Finley to do the job. Senators have mentioned Mike Shealy for the comptroller job, and there's been no agreement to even hold an election. And I doubt the Senate will actually ever agree to an election as long as Kirkland Finley is up there, just by the sheer numbers. Do you have any faith that they'll actually be able to come to an agreement?
Well, the law provides for them to come to agreement. They'll be coming back for this special session, and I believe that they will come to an agreement of some kind at some point and make an election.
Did you ever consider Kirkland Finley or Mike Shealy yourself, and why or not?
They were recommended, of course, along with many others, but this man, Michael Gaines, is the man for this job.
Would you like to see the job taken out of off the election ballot, essentially?
Say it again.
Would you like to see this job taken off the election ballot to basically have your ability to appoint?
Either way suits me. The important thing is we need to have qualified people in these very important positions, and we're very happy that Brian Gaines has agreed to do this. He walking away from his work at the Department of Administration is going to take a little bit of adjustment, but Ms. Adams is confident that she and her team can handle that, and so we're fortunate to have someone of this ability that has the confidence of everyone involved that Brian Gaines has.
You address what this means for employees' ability to get their paycheck and whether that was in legal limbo.
We did some research on that, and the question was whether it was or was not. It was still a question. There was no authority answering that question, and that's one reason that we're moving quickly. Yeah.
Can you explain where things fell through the cracks with the previous comptroller in terms of keeping track of that spending, and why you believe that will not happen under this new leadership?
Well, that's been thoroughly digested in the papers and reported on, but I have great confidence in Brian Gaines and his ability to work with people and his familiarity with these processes. And again, he has the confidence of all that we discuss this with.
Anything else from the Controller General? We're good? Thank you.
Anything else you want to say? Thank you very much.
Hold you here for off topics, Kevin. Can I hold you?